Keir, perhaps we can talk about how you got introduced to Lindy Hemming, or even introduced to the Bond films. What came first then? Was it Batman? Was it Bond? How did it all come about?
It was through Lindsay's assistant designer called Andrea Kritz, who had his uncle used to be a TV director, and he had asked us to make some costumes for some of the shows he'd made on TV. And Andrea Kritz was the assistant designer to that designer, that TV costume designer.
Maggie Chapelhow, I think.
So she put our pictures of our press under Lindy's nose, really. And I think in 2003 we did that film. Lindy phoned us up and said, I want you to do some belts. And then the Madonna thing came along, and then we did some waitress costumes for that Ice Palace thing.
Yeah, in the Ice Palace scene, all the girls are wearing I
think we did about 10 sort of silver tops for those.
Silver zip little molded leather things. They're all whizzing about. And you actually see, it was on the other night, and I hadn't seen it for years, and you actually see more of them than we remember, didn't you? They were fairly visible.
Wow.
So,
and so is this? Are there many trips to Pinewood? Are there many fittings? How was the process that you remember it as?
We went and met Lindy, and she was lovely. She's a lovely woman, and we got on really well. She asked us to make this belt for Halle because it was an homage to Ursula Andress coming out,
of course,
of the sea. So
because it was the 20th Bond movie, wasn't it? So it was also celebrating Bond within the film.
So. And Paddy was an avid Bond fan anyway.
I have a closet. You see, this is. I was a former member of the James Bond British Fan Club, and I went to one convention at the Wembley Conference Centre. I think it was probably the late 70s, early 80s. It was really early days. I mean, these little pamphlets used to come through the post that were all photocopied, and but it was an amazing thing. Actually, it was quite fun, but. It's a bit like doing a thesis on a favourite subject. You should never do it because you kind of go off,
right?
If you get a bit too close to them. But no, Lindy, it all went along, didn't it? It evolved.
Yes, and then we had this amazing first fitting with Halle, who's got the most amazing glowing copper skin. She just won the Oscar, and this was the first thing she did when she got back. And we walked into this trailer, and it was full of balloons with "Well done, Halle." And
for Monsters Ball, right?
Photos of that, actually, I've got very good photos.
So that was like a sort of a peak moment,
and the actually other best moment after you.
And then so we made this belt, and they went off to Spain and they filmed on it. And then we made the other belt, which is in the Ice Palace, which I think they filmed back at Pinewood. And then Madonna got on board because she was doing the theme tune. So Lindy actually pulled a press magazine tear off a piece we'd already made and said, "I want that for Madonna." So
an existing design that we'd done, and I think in about '92, and it had a page in Elle and it had a page in a smaller picture in Vogue, and we redid it for Madonna. We altered it slightly, but we had a.
Well, we got to go to her house.
We went to Madonna's house.
She was living in Marble Arch, at the time.
With Guy, it was with Guy Ritchie,
right?
And it was just a great time.
It was actually it was pretty good. Actually, she was very sweet, and I think Madonna thought we were like identical twins or something. Right. She was very onto that, and no, she was really, really nice to us. And then the undoubtedly the best bit of it all was the day filming that at Pinewood, because we were allowed to go, and I think it was all sort of. Actually, it was Lindy just being really very, very decent to us and really letting us in. And I think she knew that I was a bit of a fan anyway. And I think she got that we got on quite well with Madonna, so she was keen for us to dress her and what have you and keep it sort of zhuzhed up a bit. But we had this extraordinary experience of sitting on set in that
fencing
club,
Yeah.
whatever that place is.
It's a huge room.
It's an incredible set. I mean, the detail on it was unbelievable. So there were these big high-sided leather sort of chairs which sort of enclose you, and it was a sofa, and there was literally us two, Barbara Broccoli and Lindy, sitting on the sofa.
Oh wow!
Lee Tamahori.
Well, yeah, he was directing it, but he wasn't sat on the sofa.
No.
And anyway, we got to sit.
And it was Pierce Brosnan and Madonna doing their walk.
Yeah, we all sort of sat and watched the walkthrough together, and there was a lot of sort of laughing at the little gags and jokes. The crew were all allowed to laugh a bit, and then no, it was like another world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually, I think those days are not gone, but it was such a crazy film anyway. I'm only really proud about it in as much as it's definitely the campest Bond movie that will ever be made that's official, because it was daft beyond belief, you know. And it sort of, I think it replaced the fans. Previously, the worst Bond movie was always regarded as The Man with the Golden Gun, and I think it probably supplanted that within, you know, as being the man, certainly the daftest. Though I do have, it's more sci-fi than anything, which is kind of what I like.